Years ago, back in the 1990s, I remember the horror stories. Hardworking Americans were losing the family business, the family farm, the family house, all because of something called the estate tax. Republicans branded it perfectly, the death tax. And guess what? They fixed it. Well, kind of. Today, the federal estate tax exemption is almost $15 million per person, $30 million for a married couple. The translation is this: 99.9% of Americans will never pay a dime in federal estate tax when they die. The old death tax, for nearly everyone watching this, it's dead. But before you celebrate and think Uncle Sam finally found some humanity, listen very carefully. The government didn't give up its seat at the table when you die. Rather, they just moved to a quieter corner. One most financial advisors, attorneys, and even CPAs never mention, either because they don't know it exists or they're too scared to bring it up. It's called Medicaid Estate Recovery. But make no mistake, Medicaid recovery can actually do more damage to an estate than the death tax. Consider, for Americans, the government can only take 40% of everything over $15 million. But compare that to Medicaid Estate Recovery, which can take 100% of everything you own down to the last nickel. The family farm, gone. The paid off house, gone. The savings you thought you would leave to your kids or grandkids, legally seized by the state. Hi, I'm Anthony Parent, attorney and founder of IRS Medic. If you want to protect what you've built, hit subscribe and join millions of viewers who trust IRS Medic as their tax and estate planning resource. Why 60 million boomers are sleepwalking into total wealth confiscation. So let me lay out the problem. Baby boomers, the wealthiest generation in history, well, far too many are doing absolutely nothing. The psychology behind their inaction is fascinating. Boomers are the first generation raised inside a non-stop marketing machine. And perhaps their reluctance has something to do with the fact that since the time they could walk, TV hammered home one message: you're special, you're gonna be young forever, you'll always be in control. Age is just a number. Buy this product to be cool. Well, that programming stuck. Many still want to see themselves as a 28-year-old cruising in a Boss Mustang fastback with Led Zeppelin cranked. Actually, that sounds pretty good, to be honest. Well, anyway, talking about nursing homes and irrevocable trust, hey man, don't be a heavy with your rules. Nursing homes are for old people. So guess what? They avoid the conversation like the plague. Now, here's the brutal truth they refuse to face. The harder you fight surrendering control, the more control you hand to the government. If you refuse to plan, well, guess what? The state, Connecticut, California, New York, Texas, whatever it is, wherever you live, becomes your estate planner. Medicaid, probate courts, and the estate recovery unit decide who gets what and how much they keep. They're not exactly known for generosity. Boomers also rode the greatest wealth creation bull market ever. Assets only went up, so deep down they believe they must always go up, even if temporarily down. Almost no one has long-term care insurance anymore, as it got way too expensive. 70% of people turning 65 today will need long-term care. 70%. And after the money runs out, Medicaid pays the nursing home. That's where the trap snaps shut. Most boomers think Medicare covers a lot, but it doesn't cover long-term care more than 100 days and only covers it if you're improving. Every state is required by federal law to recover every dollar Medicaid spends on your long-term care after age 55 from your state after both spouses are gone. The program has a boring name, Medicaid Estate Recovery Program, or I guess we could call it MERP, but let's call it what it actually is, Death Tax 2.0 on steroids. It doesn't start at $15 million, it starts at $1. And the only ways I know to avoid Medicaid recovery is to, 1, never need long-term care, which is difficult and uncertain. 2, be insured with a long-term care policy, which is difficult and impossible perhaps to get, or 3, the last way, which is the essence of Medicaid planning, is to have no assets in your name, rather owned by a trust for your benefit. This is the feasible way and forms the entire basis of Medicaid planning. How Medicaid Estate Recovery actually works. Here's what this means. Let's suppose your mom goes into a facility for a broken hip and requires long-term care. Meanwhile, your dad stays in the house. Now, the state isn't seeking the house right now, as there is spousal protection while dad is still living. But then let's assume dad actually dies first. Mom then dies 2 years later. Well, the day after mom's funeral, the kids get a letter. Remit $487,321.94 in 90 days, or we will force the sale of your parents' house. The kids have 3 terrible choices. First, sell the house and hand the state the proceeds. Second, borrow against it to pay the state. Third, let the state foreclose and auction it for pennies on the dollars. I've seen grown adults in this very office cry because the mountain home that Grandpa built in 1952 now belongs to the government. The gut punch, this nightmare is 100% preventable. It takes just one document, an irrevocable Medicaid Asset Protection Trust, to fix the problem. The way it works is the trust owns the house. It owns the assets. Now, mom and dad live, pay taxes, everything feels identical. But when they're both gone, the house goes straight to the kids, probate is bypassed, and the state gets what it deserves. 0. And the cost to do this? A fair price is between $4,000 and $7,000. Compare that to losing a $700,000 house. The return on investment is insane, 100 to 1 or better. There is one catch. You must set it up 5 years before you need care. Now, the quicker you get to it, the better. But I want to tell you some extra benefits that can convince you to take action right now. Consider the 2 middle words of Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. Asset protection. The same trust shields assets from lawsuits, creditors, and skips probate entirely, which is huge if you own property in multiple states or countries, or if you have a business. So now, why are boomers still dragging their feet? Well, because estate planning means admitting they're mortal. I'm not ready to admit I'm mortal myself. That's something any of us really want to admit. So here's how I get them to move. Appeal to their inner rebel. Mom, Dad, stick it to the government. Let's set up a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust and make sure they get as little as humanly possible. This, to help you start the conversation with your parents or yourself, I created a free download, your no BS guide to protecting your family fortune. The link is in the description. Grab it now. And if they're still stubborn, watch my next video where I reveal my Red Army persuasion hack that finally gets the most hardcore boomer to act. In fact, this technique is what I use to persuade IRS employees to be kind to my clients, even when they don't have to be. I know it works. This is Anthony Parent with IRS Medic. Thanks for watching. Now, go protect what your family has built and feel great knowing the government won't profit as much as it would like when there is a death in your family.